a bear having lunch with humans to an owner sacrificing himself for his dog. These are animals that ask people for their help and kindness. Wooly's parkour career was flourishing. The only thing that held him back was his penchant for the magic mushrooms at the bottom of the ditch. I can promise you one thing, that is the last time Mr. Clean will be training attack dogs without the protective suit with a ribeye around his neck. Ronnie told us that it was a mixed breed. We should probably call PETA because that female Labrador won't ever be the same. What Sanjay didn't know is that the calf was in training for the Ironman triathlon and was quite peeved about the interruption. As a former soldier myself, it warms my heart to see warriors in the field of battle show their hearts. But what if that cat was an insurgent? Sure, Daryl's accuracy with the bucket seems impressive, but what Bruno was really after was a full contact back scratching. And folks, how about that dismount? I don't know about you all out there, but I've never seen a frozen lake that looked like a terrible gravel job by the local landscaper. When that squirrel crossed the finish line of the half marathon, Hector showered him with water. He would have used champagne, but the squirrel is an alcoholic.
Dying. Help me.
Luckily, Frank was on his way to a softball game and had his bat. Imagine if he'd been heading to his regular dart league. So apparently, Whiskers went completely off the rails with his hide-and-seek tactics. Committed or crazy? You decide. Trapeze artists are a rarity in this day and age. Sometimes you get a graceful partner, sometimes you wind up with a water moccasin. NSYNC Exotic Wildlife and Recreation Center worked a miracle on this one. Who knew that a once terrible boy band could turn into incredible wildlife conservationists? So I take it that Dumbo lost his magic feather in midair and wound up in the well again. Ah, that circus life. Folks, there is a very thin line between bravery and stupidity. Which side of that equation do you think this person falls on? I've only played whack-a-mole at Chuck E. Cheese. Apparently, this real-life version is much better than the original. What was initially a horse rescue nearly became a human rescue. Because if that front-end loader would have been 2 seconds faster, yikes! It appears that this particular Budweiser Clydesdale got into a 12-packer 3 and wound up taking an accidental dip in the local canal. We'll take a break from this Tour de France action while the bicyclists take a breather and rescue a caribou with antlers that could impale an elephant. Sometimes the gentle touch of an excavator bucket is all Bambi really needs. The mud bath really made his coat exquisite though. While it appears these caribous were battling, the truth is the green grass was the illegal kind. Tell me I'm wrong after they are unlocked. It touches me to see a gaggle of people come together to save one of Mother Nature's natural wonders. Because that turtle is basically a dinosaur.
Nice.
What's even more impressive is that Julio was actually looking for his keys after a long night on the town. Turns out they were under the puppies. If these animals have touched your heart or tickled your funny bone, go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons and we'll keep them coming. One thing seems to be universal: a mother's love for their child and a child's love for its mother. The true meaning of unconditional. You have to wonder, how did the hawk make it into the house? Because he appears to be on the wrong side of the glass. Unless they're raising hawks with huge talons. This is the prototype for Red Rover Extreme Nature version. He lost points for pulling on the deer's ear, but definitely points for style. The life of a boat captain is a lonely existence, so he'll take a friend wherever he can get it. And I do mean wherever. They're now engaged. Sonic the Hedgehog hit the skids not too long after the Sega Genesis became obsolete. Try as he might, he just can't seem to get enough of those gold rings. Who says that bears aren't cogent thinkers? Because that furry thing looked down and consciously let go knowing he'd be safe. The people's safety is in question though. I guess this brings a whole new meaning to the term down under to this Australian marsupial. Coming from the rest of the herd behind Davy, man, we told you not to put your tongue on the flagpole. I don't even want to know how you froze your tail. This is the Ukraine's secret weapon in their battle against Russia. No one can resist the charms of a puppy, and they get distracted while the Ukrainians move in. My question is, how did the goat get up there to begin with? Beta testing zip lines? Or does that goat have an NBA-type vertical leap? While there's no question this woman is very sweet, I think I would have reconsidered washing the hands of a kangaroo in a dust bowl. And the tug-of-war battle, surprisingly, came down to a photo finish. The judges ruled it a tie. Because of deforestation, the jaguar has been forced to take to the water for sustenance. Thank God for good people in the right place at the right time. The men up on top forced Abdul to put on pants for fear that the pigeon would see up his dashiki and drown himself on purpose. This could have gone all Evel Knievel really quick. This time the ramp would have got the worst of it. Thank goodness for fast twitch muscles. Flipper's ego got to him. They said he was faster than lightning. He thought he'd be the same way on the sand. Epic fail. A moving rendition of Pirates of Penzance on ice. It's easy to see who the star of this performance truly is. Hint, it ain't the guy with the rope.
Here we go!
Terry the Turtle took his commitment to a friendly game of hide and seek to the next level, and it nearly took him out. Sometimes when you win, you lose. You learn something new every day. Who knew that when deer get scared, they freeze up like a possum? I wonder if they play dead too. While a kind gesture, the person with the water hose actually wound up frying pigeon eggs on the sidewalk later. Well, I wonder if the macaws are telling that woman what they want to eat from McDonald's too. They're talkative and demanding.
That was legitness.
Extreme Jenga, brick and mortar feline version. It's at the beginning stages, but Milton Bradley think they have a hit on their hands. Not to knock the man's effort or anything, but would it not have just been easier to grab the little guy and move him off the road? The Hunchback of Greater Dane. This dog's recovery inspired the original Hunchback of Notre Dame to rehabilitate himself too. Now he's Brad Pitt. If you think turning a butcher's knife into an axe is silly, you should have seen him trying to use that plastic shovel in the background first. How many rednecks does it take to pull a drowning dog out of a river? Apparently 5, with more on the way. Water is a magical liquid. That bobcat was dying, but a good Samaritan turned on his water hose and the life rushed back into the wildcat. Touching. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that the koala bear was just taking a nap. Thank goodness there are people much smarter than me.
That's pretty good.
When this hawk converted to Christianity, it insisted on being christened and not baptized. A dunk underwater would have really messed up its feathers. While no doubt full of good intentions, it turns out that was a snapping turtle. So, for doing the right thing, his interior was torn to shreds. Maybe it's just me, but does it not look like a map of a Fortnite level that she's walking on to return the catfish? Where's her hang glider? This whole video puts Finding Nemo to shame. Walt Disney is turning over in his grave right now. Javier kissed that female dolphin. I don't guess there's any point in telling him that she's already spoken for. That golden retriever really took that fetch game a little too seriously. Tread on the ice at your own risk. While the video is a supreme display of humanity, my real question is, how bad did that tattoo on his knee hurt? I've always heard that cats land on their feet, so what's the rush? Who knows, it could just be practicing its base jumping. This video begs the question, what was he doing dressed for a frat party out on the beach with sharks?
I'm dying. Help me.
I don't know about you guys, but I want some of that tie-dye action that hippie was wearing. Still, tripping acid and bathing a dog is not advised. Maybe it's just me, but someone needs to fire the cameraman. Someone hand him a boom mic and tell him to keep it out of the shot. So, it turns out that deer are more snowboarders than ice skaters, but the deer got an A for effort. I was in the Army for 5 years and I don't remember this part of the training, although I wish it would have been, because Bambi is not the enemy.
Oh my god.
A slow sloth and speedboats, always a winning combination. Sloths aren't slow, they're just really, really cool and don't hurry for anyone. Sometimes, every so often, it's not just the animals that are amazing. Human beings can be some pretty amazing